Live TV turned into a battleground when Melania Trump faced off against a relentless host. But what she said next? It left the entire studio speechless. Viewers couldn't believe how she shut it down with just one line: "This moment will stay in history." Live television has always been a platform where the unexpected can happen, and one moment can change everything. But nothing prepared the world for Melania Trump's extraordinary mic drop moment during a recent broadcast. Known for her calm demeanor and reserved nature, Melania stunned everyone when she delivered a sharp, unforgettable response to a host who underestimated her. This wasn't just another interview. It was a battle of words and wits that left the audience gasping and the internet ablaze. What led to this moment? What exactly did she say that turned the tables in such a dramatic fashion? Stay tuned as we dive deep into the clash, the aftermath, and the lasting impression it left on millions. The excitement leading up to Melania Trump's live TV interview was palpable. Weeks before the broadcast, media outlets buzzed with speculation about what she might say. Would she address the rumors, confront the criticisms, or unveil something shocking? The anticipation was fueled by teasers and trailers that promised an unfiltered, tell-all discussion, making this a must-watch event for millions. In the days leading up to the show, Melania's public appearances were scarce, adding to the intrigue. Insiders hinted that she was carefully preparing for every question, determined to present her truth with poise and grace. The host, notorious for their sharp wit and no-holds-barred approach, had taken subtle jabs at Melania in the past, creating an underlying tension that viewers were eager to witness. Behind the scenes, the production team meticulously planned every detail, ensuring that the setting would maximize drama and impact. The stakes were high, not just for Melania, but also for the host, who was known for pushing boundaries. As the date approached, social media exploded with theories about what might unfold, with some expecting a fiery confrontation and others predicting a dignified defense. By the time the day arrived, the world was ready. The audience waited with bated breath, the lights dimmed, and the cameras started rolling, setting the stage for what would become one of the most talked-about moments in live television history. As the conversation shifted to more contentious topics, the atmosphere on set grew increasingly charged. The host, emboldened by the live format, began to press Melania with pointed and provocative questions, aimed at challenging her views and personal life. Topics ranged from her role as First Lady to her marriage with Donald Trump, with subtle insinuations designed to provoke a reaction. Melania remained composed, her signature grace and calm demeanor masking the growing tension. The host, sensing an opportunity to push further, questioned her ability to navigate the intense scrutiny of public life, even insinuating hypocrisy in her advocacy efforts. The audience watched with bated breath as Melania, usually reserved in public debates, decided to take a firm stand. Her voice, steady yet firm, cut through the charged air. She addressed the host's comments head-on, dismantling their arguments with sharp wit and undeniable logic. At one point, the host attempted to interrupt, but Melania, in a rare show of assertiveness, held her ground, silencing the interruption with a calm yet commanding retort. The audience erupted in applause, their cheers echoing through the studio as she delivered her point with undeniable authority. This heated exchange showcased a side of Melania that many hadn't seen before, a confident, unapologetic figure standing her ground against relentless pressure. By the time the conversation reached its climax, it was clear that she had turned the tables, leaving the host visibly stunned and the audience completely enthralled. As the heated debate reached its zenith, all eyes were on Melania. The host, seemingly confident in their ability to dominate the conversation, delivered a final pointed question, one designed to corner her. The question was laced with insinuations about her personal values and her role in the political sphere, a calculated move to unsettle her. But instead of faltering, Melania paused briefly, her poised demeanor captivating the room. With a calm and measured tone, she delivered a response so sharp, so undeniably precise, that it silenced the entire studio. Her words weren't just a rebuttal, they were a masterclass in articulation, grace, and intellect. The host, visibly caught off guard, attempted to regain control of the conversation but stumbled over their words. Melania seized the moment, leaning forward slightly, her eyes locking with the camera as she delivered her closing remark, a mic-drop statement that encapsulated the essence of her point. It was powerful, unflinching, and utterly unforgettable. The studio erupted into applause. Members of the audience stood up, clapping and cheering as the host struggled to compose themselves. The energy in the room was electric, and even those who might not have agreed with her were forced to respect the sheer brilliance of her response. For viewers at home, this was the moment that cemented Melania's place not just as a former First Lady, but as a formidable figure in her own right. Clips of her mic-drop moment began circulating online almost instantly, with headlines proclaiming it as one of the most iconic moments in live television history. It wasn't just about what she said, it was how she said it. Her poise, confidence, and unshakable presence resonated with millions, leaving a lasting impact that would be discussed for years to come. Following her unforgettable moment on live TV, Melania Trump chose to address the incident in a way that only she could. Calm, composed, and deeply impactful. Her response wasn't immediate. Instead, it came after a day of reflection, allowing the frenzy to settle and ensuring her words carried weight. In a statement released through her office, Melania made it clear that she stood by everything she had said during the heated exchange. She began by emphasizing the importance of staying true to one's principles, stating, "There are moments when standing up for what you believe in is not just an option but a necessity." This was one of those moments. Melania's tone was deliberate, showcasing a mix of grace and assertiveness that resonated with many of her supporters. She went on to highlight her belief in respectful dialogue, noting that while she values civility, she wouldn't hesitate to defend herself or her family when necessary. Her words struck a chord with those who admired her for her strength, especially under such intense scrutiny. What made her response even more compelling was the glimpse it gave into her thought process. Melania shared that the exchange wasn't about politics or personal attacks. It was about standing up for truth and integrity. She said, "I have always believed in the power of words. They can divide, but they can also unite. That night, my words were meant to bring clarity, not conflict." Her supporters rallied behind her, flooding social media with messages of admiration and solidarity. Many praised her for addressing the incident head-on without resorting to inflammatory language or adding fuel to the fire. Critics, on the other hand, accused her of carefully crafting her response to control the narrative. But even they couldn't deny the effectiveness of her strategy. Behind the scenes, those close to Melania revealed how the incident affected her. While she appeared unshaken publicly, she took the time to discuss the events with her inner circle. According to a source, Melania wasn't looking for a fight that night, but when the moment called for it, she didn't back down. She's proud of how she handled herself. In subsequent interviews, Melania elaborated on her decision to speak out. She described how she felt a responsibility to address the situation not just for herself, but for those who look up to her as a role model. Her message was clear. Silence in the face of adversity isn't always the best course of action. There's strength in speaking your mind, especially when you know the world is watching, she said during a sit-down interview. "I hope that my actions showed people, especially young women, that it's okay to be assertive and to stand by your beliefs." This candid and heartfelt response further cemented Melania's reputation as someone who exudes quiet strength and resilience. It wasn't just her words that left an impression. It was the way she delivered them, with poise and confidence, that made her one of the most talked-about figures of the week. Her ability to turn a contentious moment into an opportunity for empowerment and reflection became the defining takeaway. While some continued to critique her, Melania's response had undoubtedly added a new layer to her public persona, leaving many to wonder, what would she do next? The live TV moment wasn't just a fleeting headline. It became a defining event that rippled far beyond the broadcast. For Melania Trump, the confrontation solidified her status as a cultural and political figure who isn't afraid to speak her mind. But the impact extended far beyond her immediate circle, resonating with millions and shaping conversations in unexpected ways. The media exploded with coverage following Melania's mic drop moment. Every major outlet dissected her words, tone, and the broader implications of the exchange. Some praised her for her poise and wit, while others critiqued her for engaging in such a public clash. Roundtable discussions on talk shows and endless opinion pieces debated whether this marked a new chapter in how public figures, especially women, navigate heated debates. One commentator put it best: this wasn't just a response, it was a moment of reclaiming the narrative. Melania Trump reminded the world that she's not a passive figure in her husband's shadow. Social media platforms became the epicenter of discussion. Clips of the incident went viral within hours, with hashtags trending globally. Supporters celebrated her as a symbol of grace under pressure, using memes and GIFs to highlight her sharp retorts. Critics, however, questioned the authenticity of her approach, accusing her of being overly calculated. Fan accounts began compiling moments from her past to show that this wasn't an isolated incident. Melania had always had a quiet strength that many were only now beginning to recognize. The moment even sparked viral challenges, with people reenacting her iconic clapback. For many women, especially those in the public eye, Melania's response was seen as a powerful example of standing up against criticism. Feminist groups and public figures lauded her for handling the situation without stooping to personal attacks, showing that assertiveness and respect can coexist. This moment inspired conversations about how women are often expected to remain silent in confrontational settings. Melania's actions challenged that notion, encouraging others to embrace their voices. As one commentator noted, her composure wasn't just impressive, it was revolutionary in its own way. Behind the scenes, insiders revealed that the event had ripple effects within the Trump family. Reports suggested that Donald Trump was both surprised and impressed by Melania's ability to handle the situation independently. Barron Trump, too, reportedly expressed pride in his mother, calling her brave for standing her ground. The moment seemed to strengthen the family's bond, presenting a united front to the public. It also sparked renewed interest in Melania's role within the Trump narrative, with many speculating about what this could mean for her future public appearances. On a larger scale, the incident became a talking point in political circles. Some viewed it as a strategic move, showcasing Melania as a force to be reckoned with. Others believed it reflected a broader shift in how the Trump family navigates public controversies, signaling a more assertive approach moving forward. The moment also reignited discussions about the role of first ladies and former first ladies in political discourse. Melania's ability to dominate headlines without being overtly political was seen as a unique balancing act, one that could redefine the expectations for her position. Months later, the event remained a touchstone for discussions about Melania Trump. It became part of her legacy, a reminder of her ability to surprise and inspire in equal measure. For her supporters, it was a moment of triumph. For her critics, it was a moment to reconsider their assumptions about her. In interviews, Melania reflected on the incident, saying, "I didn't plan for it to be such a big deal. I just spoke my truth. But if it helped others find their own voice, then I'm glad." Ultimately, the lasting impact of the moment was clear. Melania Trump had left an indelible mark not just on the evening's broadcast, but on the broader cultural and political landscape. Her ability to turn a tense situation into a moment of empowerment ensured that her words and the courage behind them would be remembered for years to come. Melania Trump's unforgettable mic drop moment on live TV wasn't just another headline. It was a defining event that showcased her strength, wit, and grace under pressure. The exchange reminded everyone that she's far more than a supporting figure in the Trump narrative. She's a force in her own right. This moment not only resonated with millions, but also sparked important conversations about resilience, authenticity, and standing up for oneself, even in the harshest spotlight. Whether people agreed with her or not, one thing was undeniable. Melania Trump had once again captured the world's attention, proving that she is someone who commands respect and leaves a lasting impression wherever she goes. Her words and actions will undoubtedly continue to shape her legacy, inspiring both admiration and debate for years to come.